Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the Hager number 340D US32D. This is a latch protector is what it is. It's a stainless steel latch protector. Very typical, very common. You're going to use this all the time. This specific model. Why? Well, hollow metal doors, hollow metal frames. Stainless steel, very appropriate for an exterior application. The fact that chrome or satin chrome is the most common finish. Stainless steel is very common. You're going to have a couple of bolt holes. You're going to have this, from the back side, this depressed area where the lip of the strike plate will be accommodated by. You're also going to have this pin, which, when attached to the door, regardless of the hand, you will drill a hole in the frame, in the face of the frame, so the pin projects into that hole, preventing somebody from getting between the door and frame and literally separating the two to be able to get the door open. You separate the jambs out far enough, or the door from the jamb out far enough where the latch bolt is no longer engaged in the strike, and you can literally use that to your advantage to get the door open. That frame pin works to prevent that from happening. You should be installing these with frame pins, would be my opinion. They are very effective, very appropriate to use. You know, exterior hollow metal doors on the back of a strip mall, you know, no one's viewing those doors constantly. The less affordability it is for someone to break in, the better, meaning prolonging the amount of time it might take to, sabotage an installation like this. So let's go over the dimensional properties, and there is an image below that, a link below this video to a document called Dimensional Drawing, and that's handy because it will allow you to review this item in all of its dimensional properties. They call this a 3 by 11. It's basically just short on 11 inch tall. 3-inch wide. Okay. You can see that it has an offset, and that is by design because the hollow metal door, if that's where you're using it, is inset into the frame by about 3/32 of an inch, something in that range. And you need a small amount of offset so that the door can close all the way, which is technically not flush with the face of the frame. It's inset a little bit, and give yourself enough room for the overlapping part to rest back over safely against the face of the door and frame, the face of the frame. That dimensional drawing will give you all of the other dimensions, which I won't beleaguer here in this video. Lots of dimensions. There is also a link below this video to the installation instructions, and they are in the back of the packaging, and they're very simple and straightforward. With the important thing to know is the reference to 3/16 of an inch, which is which you are going to set the beginning of the offset to the edge of the frame. You're going to pull that back in just a little bit, 3/16 of an inch, because this angle is not 90 degree. Let's just say it's 45 or thereabouts degree. So you're going to move that in. If your door is here, you're going to move that in. You're going to move that in right about there. That kind of thing. Okay, that's the important portion of this. You'll want the center line of this to be the center line of your strike, really is what that would be appropriate. You're going to want to have the maximum amount of coverage of the strike plate itself because that's where the latch bolt is communicating to. This model is going to give you 2 sex bolts. They're identical. They are a carriage bolt on the outside, a typical carriage bolt, and then of course a Allen drive female on the inside. So you're going to bolt that through the door with the Allen drive on the inside of the door. These are made for 1 3/4 doors. If you need something longer, you're probably just going to have to substitute, or shorter, substitute the carriage bolt side appropriately. The only other items of note on the installation instructions are to mark the holes for the bolts, and of course do your pre-drilling of the holes. Very typical for an installation like this. It's not when you sell a hollow metal door and frame and door closure weather stripping hinges lock, the latch guard gets generally left off. And then what happens is the building is built, and then the owner calls the door distributor 3 months later and said, "Where are my latch guards?" Well, let me look at the order. None were ordered. Why not? You would know I would need latch guards. These doors are out in the alley. I can't have people tampering with the latch bolts. That's the logic. So the point of the matter is, they're a good idea. People in the field will look back and say that should have been there. A distributor will look forward and say that should be there. So it's a good idea to pick up at some point. There's a extended description below this video which touches on the part number, the fact that this is 32D. That means two things: solid stainless and in a brushed finish. Will work with most mortise locks and cylindrical locks as well. But what you have to be concerned with, and that dimensional drawing will assist you, is that the rosette of your lock and where you physically need to place this portion on the door are not in conflict with each other, so you'll need to lay that out. You know what, let's lay that out right now. Depending on the width of your rosette, you can see where that's going to fall in line. You're going to be about, you know, 1 1/8 worth, well, 1 inch worth of this latch guard being on the face of the door. So you've got 1 inch taken up by this. If you're at 2 3/4 backset and the diameter of your rose is 3 inch, you know, 1.5 inch, you know, half of 3 inch diameter, or 3 9/16 plus the 1 inch, you're going to need to lay that out. Some people will grind this back, but Hager manufactures latch guards that are made to accommodate a large grade 1 key and lever rosette design sort of application. Something square like this is going to be used typically with escutcheon trim mortise locks, sectional trim mortise locks, provided that the diameter of the rosette isn't especially large. 12 gauge thickness on the steel. It's non-handed. Just take that, turn it either way. That's going to work, and that's it. The name Hager is synonymous with trim and auxiliary hardware like latch guards, door stops, push plates, door pulls, things of that nature. But not only that, of course, weather stripping, door closers, lock sets, exit devices, electrified hardware, sliding door, track, and hangers. They're going to have a line of continuous geared aluminum hinges under the Roton name. And then, of course, their namesake, Hager Hinge. They make everything as it pertains to industrial, institutional, commercial, you know, residential hinges. Hager does everything for a door, everything. And there's a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up that catalog. In terms of hardware, everything that you might possibly need. And it's just, if they would just do the metal doors and frames, they would have it all, and I bet you they're working on that. If you have any questions on the Hager, number 340 latch protector in a US32D satin stainless steel finish, or any other Hager product, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.